morning! No, it hasn't turned out nice again, guys. Listen, if you didn't come to the stream on Saturday night, you won't understand that, right? I haven't been to some sort of fetish party or anything like that yet. No, it's Saturday night. It's not turned out nice again. It's a little bit grey, like my hair. How are you doing? You all right? I haven't been up long, just having a cup of tea. Thought I'd share it with you guys. Thanks to those of you that came along to Saturday night steaming, or should we say streaming. It was amazing on Saturday, and we had Skeptical Shauno's world famous quiz, all right? Matthew Beale won again for every week. No, I'm only joking. Matthew Beale's don't take Matthew Beale on in a quiz when it comes to football. We had Miserable Martins in memoriam, which I think I will upload to here today, just to archive it. So if you see that video pop up and wonder what's that all about, it's just to because I think we'll look back at it, I don't know, when he's dead, and maybe have a laugh. He's died before as Martin, on the stream once before, but he swears blind he was only drinking Ribena. It was a great night. One of the best streams. I feel like I'm saying that every Saturday. Immensely supported. Bill Brush came in at the end. I don't think he's really done the streams before, and he was buzzing. It was me and him right to the death. It was great. It was a really good night, and you know, this is one of the things I say about this channel, if you like, or Cop Talk in general. Just a minute. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Get down. It's the dog. No, it's not a chick or anything. Get down. One of the things I say about Cop Talk, you know, whether it's the podcast, the videos, the website, members' website, whatever, is, to me, it's community, it's family. It's not just about Liverpool news, Liverpool opinion, all that. It's also about the Liverpool fans. And when I started Cop Talk back in the 90s, that was the discussion I had with my then wife, Maria. Well, she was my girlfriend at the time. We did get married at Anfield at the stadium. We had a Liverpool FC wedding at the stadium in '99. But when we were discussing, you know, what to call the website, what would it be about? It was, you know, we discussed like community and fans, getting everyone's opinions, like Cop Talk, getting the cop talking, that kind of thing. And for me, I think a lot of YouTube channels and websites and or whatever, to some of those people, I assume, I can't speak for all of them, but I think that some people are just a username. Do you know what I mean? Whereas on here, I try to get to know a little bit about everyone. Now, I can't get to know thousands and thousands and thousands of people, but the people that take the time to interact with me, their names stick in my mind. And when they're coming on the stream on a weekend, they'll say, "Oh, you're doing? You all right? How did it go last weekend?" I try and remember those things, even though I've got a terrible memory. So for me, that's why we do these videos having a cup of tea, right? It's not exciting for some people. Check the comments in my videos. The majority of the people that comment in my videos enjoy them. We get the odd one or two that don't, but they're people that are just stumbled on the channel that are trying to knock one out to a bit of news or something. And they're not really the kind of people we want around here. So when I'm making this cup of tea now, I'm just having a general chin wag with you guys. And I want Cop Talk and every single part of it to be also about the fans. Like you're a Liverpool fan, in theory. I know I have fans from all clubs watch, well, not all clubs, but a lot of other clubs watch my videos, including Man United, Chelsea, you know, Tottenham, all these clubs. And they do that because they enjoy the content and the banter and the way I try and keep it real. And I just want you guys to know that this is also about you. All right? So, I'm your friend if you want me to be your friend, and so are the people that are part of this community. Now, during the stream on Saturday, politics cropped up. Not for very long, because I shut it down, the conversation. And that's something that I really don't want on here, right? The streams, the videos, everything is primarily about football, soccer, if you're American. But if your community or whatever is also about people's lives, then sometimes people come on and they'll say, don't watch your favourite movie. And I'll say, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'll send that back to everyone and say, what is everybody else? What's your favourite movies, guys? Oh, so we have a talk about everything. But one thing we don't want to talk about is politics or religion, controversial things where everybody's got strong opinions. Well, maybe not. Well, you can have even if you don't have an opinion, that's a strong opinion, because you can say, I'm not interested, right? So that's a strong belief. And unfortunately, politics does come into football occasionally. We've seen it specifically a lot this season because of the talk that maybe the club could be sold to the Middle East, right? And we obviously know that Liverpool Football Club and Liverpool the city has a traditional, very strong political vibe or feel, opinions, left on the political spectrum. For many, many reasons we don't need to go into, we know what all those reasons are, and rightly so, so fine, up to now, right, okay? Now, someone came in the chat at the weekend, which was someone that's a very nice person. They've been in the chat loads of times, and I really like them. And they have, their username as socialist in that title, and so they, there's already like a reference to politics, if you like. Nothing wrong with that. And they created a conversation or posted a message in the chat. Nobody was talking about politics at the time in any way, shape or form. And they said there's something like, can't believe how many people are on the right politically that support Liverpool or something, or maybe around here. So I don't know how you would know that, because I can only think the only time that politics has come into any conversation on Cop Talk has been over the Middle East situation. I can't think of any other reason why. Maybe, I guess with the recent controversy over God Save the King and all that, kind of a little bit is political and brings people's opinions into things. So my response to that was, I don't think, and this is, I'm going to say this to you guys again, I don't think it's fair to expect anyone that supports Liverpool Football Club by default to have a certain political view. Now, if you're from Liverpool, you might have a political view because of the way you were brought up. I was brought up on 4 different council estates. My real father wasn't around, and my mum had 4 jobs as well to try, I was the only child and she tried everything she could to give me a good life, right? My grandparents, who I spent most of my time with when I was a young boy at that age, they had nothing. My granddad was from the Gorbals in Glasgow, in Scotland. Google it, and it, that's another place with very, very poor, very, nobody was interested about anybody up there from London or anything like that. And so I was brought up in an environment where, by default you voted Labour. Tories were scum. They only looked after the rich and all that. And all that. And for transparency, all my life, I have only, in a general election or any election, I've only ever voted Labour, right? Because I was brought up in that environment. I read the Daily Mirror newspaper every day, and from the age of 16 or whatever the age was, I joined the Labour Party and was a Labour Party member right through until probably when Corbyn became leader, who I even voted for him to be the new leader of the Labour Party, because I didn't like the fact that other people in Labour were saying, don't vote for him, he's a bad man. And I don't like being told by anyone what to do. So I didn't really know anything about Jeremy Corbyn, to be honest with you, at the time, because I'm not really that deep into politics. But I do have the views of try and look out for everyone, and that the wealthy should try and help people that maybe need a bit of help, that kind of thing. which are really good values, right? So I've only ever voted for them. In 1997, I canvassed for the local Labour MP, went to the party when Labour were elected, Tony Blair were elected, and it was amazing because, without getting too deep into things, my nana at the time was extremely Labour. I'm telling you, that I used to spend a lot of time with her when I was a kid, and she was dying of cancer at the time, and she still insisted on leaving the hospice to go and vote those Tory out, right? Do you get me drift? So it was a real big deal when Labour got elected in 1997, Tony Blair. And so I was quite into all that, right? When I say into it, I wanted Labour to win. I'd never seen a Labour government in power. I was a young lad, okay? And I've never voted for anyone else politically. I've only ever voted Labour, but I wouldn't vote for them today. And that doesn't mean by default I'd vote for anybody else, because I don't think I'd vote for anyone, because I kind of feel lost politically. I don't really care, because I've realised as a man growing up that it doesn't matter who's in power to me. It's never changed my life. I've never felt a bit of difference regardless of who's in power, right? And to be honest with you, there's more important things for me to be passionate about. You know what I mean? So that's being transparent, right? So if I'd voted Tory all my life and I was saying, hey, don't come in here talking about, left politics, then I would be biased, wouldn't I? Right? So this is someone that has only ever voted for the Labour Party, but I still don't. I don't find myself in, caught up in politics like that anymore. I don't want to discuss politics. Is basically what I'm trying to say. And there's an important reason that I'm going to tell you about this, or why I'm telling you about this. So, this chap, and I'm sure he's watching the video, and I don't want him to feel offended or feel excluded in any way, shape, or form. Anyone that knows me on the streams or when I've moderated the forums, I always stick up for anyone's right to an opinion, whatever that opinion is. So, and that many, many years ago, probably 20 years ago, maybe more, I don't know. We had one Liverpool fan on the forums at the time who had a different view to everybody else. And some people call that some people think that's just someone trying to wind you up and all that. But I genuinely think that person had a genuine opinion about Liverpool or the manager at the time, whatever it was. I didn't agree with that person. But every time they expressed their opinion, it was done so in a mature and sensible manner, right? And then the majority of people wanted rid of this person purely because they didn't like his opinion. And that's not acceptable to me, because I would rather get rid of, if you have 1,000 people, as daft as this may seem, if the 999 people want to leave because you're going to censor someone's view, or you're not willing to let that person have that view, then leave me with the one person, even if I disagree with them. I know that probably sounds ridiculous, but it's how principled I am. So I would fight for the right for that person to have their opinion. And it caused a massive drama on Cock Talk back in the day, to the point where I think we lost 15 moderators, and they all went and set up another Liverpool fan site to take me down, all because I wouldn't get rid of one person. So I lost all them people, 15 people that I trusted to be moderators and that were a valuable part of the company, all because I refused to silence one person's views that were being expressed sensibly. Now, if they were being a div, I'd have got rid of them, right? I would get rid of anyone if they're being a div and disrespectful to other people. Like, you can have your opinions, but if you disagree with someone, don't tell them they're wrong. Don't argue with them. Just say, well, I disagree, but you were right to opinion, mate. All right, because you're all on the same side, surely, right? Same side. So that caused a lot of drama back in the day. And I also had a similar thing with someone that was trying to buy Liverpool Football Club at the time that was a friend of mine, right? And I don't want you to mention names in the comments with any of these things. And, that person was very passionate about what was happening with Liverpool Football Club at the time, and I agree with that. But they were saying to me, you need to tell your members to do this, or they need to think this. And I said to my friend, I can't do that. I can tell them what's happening, but it's not up for me to tell those people what they should think. How many times do I say to you in a video, but guys, that's what I think, you think your own thing. Do you know what I mean? How insulting is it for me to tell you what you must do as a supporter of Liverpool Football Club? And I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And they said, well, if you don't do that, then, forget it. And they never spoke to me since. So that's how much of a good friend they were. So you can be passionate about something, but I stood by my principles, lost an absolutely great source, and someone who I really liked as a friend. I'll be honest with you, they were cool as fuck. I liked them. So when it comes to politics, which it did on here the other night, this person said, I can't believe how many Liverpool supporters, I don't know if they said on here or whatever, that are politically right these days. And like when I grew up, like the right, you were supposed to be scared of the right, because when you think of the right, you're thinking of Adolf and all that, and I'll be honest with you, I think people on the left that are extreme and people on the right that are extreme are equally as dangerous, right? Because I don't like extremism of anything. I prefer to be in the middle and go, well, I kind of agree with a bit with what you say, and I kind of agree with a bit what you say, right? And you're allowed to do that, but these people won't do that because they want to force their opinions on everyone, right? No, we're always right. They're awful. No, they're awful. And you can't win. However, as I said on the stream, because I was like, look, I don't want that on here, and I said, you can't expect Liverpool fans from all over the world to all share the same political opinion and opinions in general in life, right? Because I don't think you can. So, yes, it's nice to think that, the respect the traditions and values of the club, but what is the club? We used to have a boot room at Liverpool. We used to have this, that, and the other, but it isn't the same club anymore. That doesn't mean that you don't forget your values and where you are. But to try and tell people, if you don't vote Labour, you can't consider yourself a real Liverpool fan, I think that's a joke. Nobody said that to me, but I've seen that over the years. Not to me, but to other people. And, I can only talk about the Cop Talk members website, where some of them people have been with me for decades, and some of them people, are from London, work in the cities, work in finance, are extremely wealthy, and support the club in other ways through sponsorship, through commercial things, executive boxes and so on, right? And I know that some of them people would vote Conservative because of the values that they think benefit them maybe, right? That's up to them. Does that make them any worse of a Liverpool fan? We have got fans all over the world, and we've got fans in the Middle East, right? That they've got different values, maybe to people in Liverpool that are local that are, really on the left or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So does that mean all them fans in the Middle East are not entitled to support Liverpool Football Club then because they've got a different opinion? So that's why I don't want politics being discussed on here or anywhere else to do with Cop Talk. So this lad said, I can't believe there's Liverpool fans that are on the right that think, that support the club but are politically right or whatever. Yet there was no discussion of this in the chat or any suggestion of this in the chat, because I think the majority of people that come in the chat don't give a fuck about politics personally. And I would imagine most of them are really impressed with the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom at the moment, in the UK, in England, however it's deemed. I don't know, because I don't care, right? But there was no reason for that to come up in conversation. And my response to that was, well, what I'm saying now, you shouldn't expect fans just by default to think this. And it's not just about the fans in the city or the city itself. We respect that. I respect that. They can do what they want, And my response was, you can't do that. And I said, I used to vote Labour all the time, but I've never voted Labour. In the last few years, I terminated my membership to the Labour Party because I said, I think it went too left, all this like cancel culture and woke nonsense and all that. I don't like it, right? I don't like it. And I said, all the pronouns, you get on you can't get on a flight now, because the people on the plane announcing, welcome on board. They're not allowed to say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls with some companies. And I just think, that's a load of guff, right? But if you want to call yourself they, or whatever, I don't care what you want to call yourself or how you identify yourself. It just all gets on my nerves. And it's not just media brainwash, because I'm an intelligent person. Well, I think I am. I don't just pass a comment based on something that someone reads on the front page of the Daily Star or something like that, or the Express, you know what I mean? Or the Mail. So, but those are my views. So if I say, well, I disagree with that, you know, or I don't like the cancel culture, you know, when they try and get people sacked and all that, then that's my right, and I'm allowed to say that. But that doesn't mean that I can't, you know, respect your views. Do you know what I mean? And if you're someone that, sorry, I'm getting messages coming in here. Blah, blah, blah. You know, if there are things that have happened in your life or affect your life, you know, that you're, you know, emotionally invested in, right? Then I'm sure you have a strong view politically about that, right? But that doesn't mean that everybody else has to agree with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, when it comes to politics, one of the things that I would vote for or against, right, a party, is to do with fox hunting. Now, I know it sounds a bit gay, right, and a bit soft, but I don't like animal cruelty of any kind and blood sports and all that, right? And you know, the Conservative Party have always been like, tally ho, you know, and all that. It's like Gary Richards. Gary Richards comes in here, every time he sees me, he says, tally ho. They, you know, and they go chasing the foxes and rip them. It is a sport. I don't agree with that, right? Labour, right? You know, they were the ones that campaigned against that and stuff like that back in the day. So I've got strong views about that, right? But it's not for me to tell you that you have to agree with me. One of my closest friends back home lives just outside Scarborough. He's got a farm, right? And the hunts, or whatever you call, yeah, I could rephrase that word, but the hunts go through his land and they go hunting foxes and stuff like that. And he allows that, right? Now, I disagree with that. I don't like that, right? But he's my friend. I love him, right? So he's got his. Why should I let that affect my friendship with him? I'm never going to sit down with him and go, can we discuss that? You know, because it's not my business. And listen, whatever your political views are, nobody gives a fuck, right? Because at the end of the day, we've all got our views, and we shouldn't try and change anybody else's views, in my opinion, right? So I'm not going to say to my friend, that's wrong now, because why is it wrong? It's not wrong to him. He does it for whatever reason. He lives in the countryside. I don't live in the countryside. I wasn't brought up in the countryside. So I'm never going to tell him he's wrong, and I'm never going to try and argue with him. Any of you on here ever change your opinions politically because of some shit that someone's put on Facebook politically? You know, when they put memes on and that, or this, that, and the other. Do any of us ever go, oh, right, okay, I'll vote for that. I've changed all my beliefs now because you've put a meme on Facebook? No, it's complete nonsense. We don't want to hear you fucking drivel about politics, right? And I won't be discussing it again on here, hopefully. So, because I made the comment about pronouns and all that, I can't be doing with all that shite, right? This lad said on here, and I want to be very clear about this, this is a nice person, right? There's nothing wrong with them or anything, but I know that they felt like the nose was put out. They said on the chat, well, my son's trans or whatever, right? But that doesn't mean that I have to support, you know, whatever it is your argument, okay? Now, the thing is, I might not agree with cancel culture and wokeness and all that and all these different things and being told that they can't say, welcome on board, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because it might offend someone. But I would walk with you and your son and stand up for him and your son and your right to those opinions. But it doesn't mean I have to agree. I might even agree, if we had a conversation, I might even agree with every single thing you say. But you took it upon yourself to go defensive. And I was saying, please, we don't want to talk about it. Just leave it, all right? We don't want to talk about it. You know, and I said in that live stream, and it was very early evening as well, and I said in that live stream, my attitudes on life, right? I don't care what skin colour you are. I don't care what religion you are, or whether you're an atheist. I don't care what sexuality you are, who you back for, right? I don't care if you're left or right politically. I do not care, because All I think in life is that, do you mind? Don't care if you're a dog. All I think about in life, all that matters to me, it might be different to you guys, but all that matters to me is if you're a good person, if you're a nice person, if you try and do the right things in life. So I don't want any of these topics on here, right? Why am I mentioning all this? Because that lad that came on here the other night, he obviously felt like his nose had been put out, or whatever, because he just vanished, and it made me sad, because I don't want anyone like that to feel like that around here. But if you come into a conversation, like walking into a room, everyone having a good time, and saying, can't believe some of you lot vote fucking Conservative. If they want to vote Conservative, let them vote it, right? And if you go into a room like that and everyone's not even talking about politics, and you come out with a statement about, I can't believe, one person in that room might go, knock it off, mate, I can't be doing with that shite. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is. Nobody's saying, well, all right. No one's saying, shut up, we don't want to hear your opinion, we just don't want to talk about it. And I tell you why we don't want to talk about it. Because people will never agree. And that's part of the problem in the world today. Because you've got people on the left and people on the right screaming at each other, refusing to listen to somebody else's opinion. Now, I don't think you should go to a party or anywhere and talk about politics. If you want to talk about politics and particular rights about anything, then go to the people that you should be telling that to. Go to your politicians, or go to the groups that are for it, or maybe even against it, whatever. But this is a football channel and a community where I want everyone to fucking love each other, make love, not war. All right? Now, so I was upset. Genuinely, I was angry as well. People will have seen that, right? Because I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. Because I don't like anyone coming into my community and telling other people what's right and what's fucking wrong. I don't like that. Nobody should come on here and say, what do you mean you shouldn't support Liverpool? Like, not that I'm saying that was what happened, but I'm saying that that's what I don't like, right? And if I want to go out and vote Conservative, Labour, Lib Dem, Monster Raving Looney Party, or whatever, that's my right. And I am never going to have to feel like, oh yeah, I agree with that, because that's the values of Liverpool for many years. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to vote how I feel. And so should you. And no fan should ever feel that they've got to believe or support a particular issue of any description because it might not make them such a good, Liverpool supporter or something, right? The only way you ever get anywhere in life, in my opinion, over controversial subjects or beliefs is by sitting down and talking to people and going, why do you think like that? All right, okay, I disagree. Should we have a beer? And leave it at that. Do you know what I mean? Because what happens when you have those conversations? People get upset. That lad got upset, disappeared, didn't come back, might never see him again. That bothers me, because he didn't do anything wrong. Well, he did do something wrong, because I said, please, can we not talk about politics? Because I don't want it on here. And you shouldn't come out and call people out and say, you can't believe this, that, especially when they're not even talking about it. Maybe they were talking about it and I didn't see it, but I'm not aware of that, and nobody said that to me. So I was upset about it, right? Because like I say, I want everyone to feel welcome around these parts. And Liverpool Football Club, whether you like it or not, is not just about the city. Yes, absolutely, core values and everything, but times change. I was a Labour voter my entire adult life from 16, a member of the party since 16 and voted since 18, and I felt amazing the first time I voted. And I vote all the time here in the local elections in Spain. I can't vote in the national elections. I'm not allowed to, even though I'm a taxpayer and a legal resident here. I'm a foreigner. So I have to respect their laws. And that's cool. I have no problem with that. I'm not going to try and tell them to change their laws for me. I'm a visitor. I'm a guest in their country, right? They can do what the fuck they want, right? But I think voting is important. I haven't voted in an election in England for years. Just haven't, because of the reasons I've already given, right? So I have my political views, you have yours. So I was upset by that. But you know what upset me even more? I got a message here. And this really upset me. So my wife, as you guys know, many of you will know, she lives in England now, I live here. And we've only seen each other twice in 3 years. And one of those, the second time was only a few weeks ago, because we have to discuss what we're going to do with everything, with life. Cop Talk, she works on Cop Talk, she helps me. What do we do with this? What do we do with this house? Do you want to be here in the future, or is your life in England now? Really difficult time, right? And my wife messaged me on Sunday morning and said, how was the stream last night? How did the stream go? Because she knows I love the streams. I said, yeah, it was really, really good. It was mint. It was good. Enjoyed it. Had a great night. And I said, and she said, oh yeah, I did drop in. Now, she's never dropped in on a stream. She never watches the streams, right? And I was surprised. I was like, oh, right, okay. I said, and I was like cringing. And she went, what are you cringing for? I went, well, when did you drop in? Like, I'm sure we'd have had a few drinks and that, and I'm sat there thinking, fucking hell, because the people taking part, sometimes we talk about all sorts of things and people. And she said, no, I didn't hang around. She said, and this is what she said, I thought it was a bit too heavy, and so I turned off. And prior to that message, she said it was, when I logged in, people were talking about politics. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, was I ranting? I said, because, I explained the incident and said, well, basically what I've just said to you guys. And she said, no, you weren't ranting. But to be honest, I thought it was a bit too heavy, and so I turned off. So she turned into the stream for the first time since we've done the streams, and it was too heavy, so she turned off. And that upsets me. And not just because it's her, right? Like she asked, she'd be like, yeah, it's too heavy, don't want to listen to that shit. How many other people might have thought the same the first time they've come along? How many people might have been here for years and gone, I don't want to be a part of that shit? And it kind of backs up my point. We don't want heavy conversation. We want to talk about Liverpool Football Club. I even get like that when we talk about the ownership. Sometimes I'll go, you'll see me put, my head in my hands and say, guys, I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about something nice, because football's supposed to be escape from all this shit, yeah? And it really bothered me that the first time she jumps in, she doesn't jump in and see the quiz or Miserable Martin doing his in memoriam feature, or the happy conversations that we have. She had to log on at the point where we're talking about politics, all right? So she'll get over it. There's no problem there, anything like that. It ain't going to make a difference to my life or anything. But the point is, how many other people might have gone, fuck this. Do you know what I mean? On both sides, whoever you are, I don't even like the fact that you have to say sides. But it backs up my point. And it backs up my point that none of us want to know anything about politics. We have people that come on the live streams from different countries, and countries that have historically had, political problems, or in-country fighting, or people that are, anti-British maybe, because they maybe were brought up in an environment where whatever, I don't know. And do you know why I don't know? Because I don't want to know, because they're entitled to their opinions. But when they come on the stream, they don't bring that shit in. They don't care that I'm British, do you know what I mean? Or whatever, because I'm fuck all to do with what my country does in the world. It's nothing to do with me. So for absolute clarity, right? I have been transparent. I never hide my views about anything, and I certainly am never going to change my views for anyone. And if that bothers you, there's an exclusive remedy to that. I love everyone. And when you're a Liverpool fan, you all share the same love like me for Liverpool Football Club. It doesn't matter who we vote for. It doesn't matter who we're involved with in relationships. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I go to church every Sunday. You can get someone go, I like to go to church on a Sunday, to be honest with you. You get someone, if someone comes in there and goes, what are the bollocks religion is? Why? Right, but that person obviously goes to church and they think it makes something for them. Do you know what I mean? It does something for them. So keep your bollocks to yourself. There's a joke in there somewhere. And I would walk with any of you people, you guys that take part in the streams. You're all lovely people, including this lad. And if I was in the city, or we're in the same place, or we bump into each other one day, and you say to me, all right, Dunk, yeah, this is my lad that I was saying about that's trans. We're just going on a little walk down there, campaigning against these. Well, I'd go, I'll come with you. Because I want to support your right to an opinion. Just because I say, I don't believe in all this, like people identifying as fridge freezers and fucking whatever, doesn't mean that I oppose what you are passionate about. Doesn't mean that. And here we are, Monday morning, talking about this shite. All right? So, when anybody comes to the streams or in the comments, please don't disrespect anyone in the comments on here about this subject. You don't even have to pass comment on it. All right? You can just say, I agree or I disagree. Politics is important concerning football. You can say that. You can say anything on here. All right? You will only be censored if you are abusive to other people or to me. You'll be removed. All right? If you come on and go, well, I think this, but if it's fine, you say it. I always stick up for anybody's right to say anything. But please don't go around coming on here telling people they can't support Liverpool Football Club if they oppose a particular topic, or the Middle East, there's really bad people in the Middle East or something. It gets right on my nerves. It really does. And I was upset by that. I was upset by her feeling that it was too heavy. The first time she dropped in the stream, she could have gone, it was really good, I really enjoyed it. You're a right laugh, you lot. What nice people. No, she had to drop in when someone's having an issy fit over fucking opinions about politics, And all I said was, please, can we just not talk about it? I agree, and I even said I agree, respect everyone's opinions, not agree with everyone's opinions because I can't. But I respect everyone's opinions. And who gives a fuck what I think anyway? Right, my views are irrelevant. I am irrelevant. It doesn't matter what I think. And I don't expect you to change your views. And I might agree with every single fucking thing you think or say anyway. But you're going by default that because I don't agree with that then I must have that opinion. And that's not right. And that's the problem in society. People screaming at each other, refusing to listen to other people. Right? We were talking about the royalty and all that on here recently, because of, it first cropped up when the Queen died. And as some of you will know, we've got a lot of Irish supporters and they come on here, right? And some of them will come on and go, fucking royalty, fucking Queen, fuck the Queen, right? But they're doing it in banter or whatever. And one time on the stream, when they were on and I was like, I put the national anthem on, just to wind them up a little bit, because I'm like that, it's jokey. Do you know what I mean? But that's the extent of it. Do you know what I mean? And I haven't grown up in Ireland, so I don't know all their views. And to be honest, the lads that come on here that are from Ireland, they've never said anything like, anything bad or anything like that. They might just go, I just don't agree with your family. Just like anyone from England might say it and do. Just like we had all that at Liverpool recently. We had a conversation of whether it's right to boo or not. Well, I'm not from Liverpool. And I can't tell you people what to do. I can't tell any of you people what to do. Whatever town, city, country, where you're from, it's not for me to say, is it? But I have an opinion about everything. And if I want to come on here and sing God Save the fucking King, I will. All right? That doesn't make me a less of a person. It just means you disagree with me. But some people will agree with me. What does it matter? Saturday nights when we have a stream on here, no politics, please. No fucking religion or anything. Just keep your views to yourself. Let people, right, support Liverpool Football Club as they want and don't make them feel uncomfortable. And I remember when I was younger, when you're not from Liverpool, and I bet people can relate to this, you try to adapt or, I agree, yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to fucking say that. If I disagree with something, I'm going to say it. But you know what? I'd rather not say it and not have the conversation in the first place, and then everyone can just talk about football. So, I think we'd rather see more of this and fun, silly things than conversation. I mean, it was only a conversation, lasted about 5 minutes, and it didn't spoil the evening. The evening was brilliant, but it's just not nice. And there might be someone that tuned in and went, I thought this was a good laugh on here on a Saturday night. It's not. And I don't want people to feel like they can't participate within this community. And to the chap that, you know, that the conversation was started by, I was upset that you left. You were obviously put out by people's opinions or my opinions. That bothers me. You were very welcome here. If you've got a trans son, then I'm sure you're emotionally caught up in it all. You know, we love you, we love your son. We would do anything to help you. My community would back that up by what I've done to try and help people on here over the years. If you drop me an email today and say, well, we're trying to do this for my son, you know, I'd say, all right, how can we help? What can we do? Because you're part of the community, so we'll try and do it. But you're not ever going to get that understanding from people if you just shut people down. And I know if you've been subjected, you know, if your son's been subjected to a load of hate or whatever, that's awful. But I've got trans friends. I've got friends from every single thing you can imagine, everything. You know, I went to an event once in London with a lad that used to come on these streams, and he was born a man, and he started having, you know, things that change your body and make boobs. I've got boobs, but they're from being obese. But, you know, he decided that he was a woman, if you like, right? And you couldn't meet a nicer lad or a woman or whatever he wants to be called, that's up to him, right? But he was a lad's lad, so he liked his football, he liked a beer, all that. You know, no one would ever imagine it. But I guess he likes to wear a frock occasionally and identify as a woman and go out or do whatever, but that's his business, right? But I still met up with him one time, you know, me, the kids, and we went to the darts. Couldn't meet a nicer person. Not my business what he wants to be. He can be what the fuck he wants, just like any of you guys can do what you want in your houses with anybody, right? So I hate the fact that you might have been subjected to pressures to do with your son and everything. I really do. But that's not how the conversation started, is it? People, I want everyone to feel welcome on here. I don't care anything about you as long as you're a good person in society. That's it. That's all that bothers to me. You know, that's all that matters to me. And I banter with everyone that comes on here. Everyone. And what I mean by that is people that are in minorities maybe, or people in life that are subjected to a load of shit. They come in here and they banter with me, right? Kev comes on here all the time, right? He don't look like me, as handsome as me. He's not white, right? So he comes on and he goes, all right, Dunk, it's your token black friend. Is he allowed to say that? Because the majority of us, I think, just want to get through life and we don't want to be caught up in all this, like, bullshit, this stuff that divides us all. When I meet someone, a guy or a woman, they can be black, white. I don't even identify someone by the skin colour. I don't even look and go, he's black. I don't think anything. Why would I think that? Don't care. Don't care. This channel's football. It stays football. We do it on a Saturday night. You're all welcome. I hope you come back to the channel. You're very welcome. I would defend you and your lad with anything. All right? But let people support Liverpool Football Club as they choose. We have to appreciate that, although it's very romantic to think we've got all these core values, do we still have them really? As a club, I don't know. I would never disrespect your views about that. I completely understand where you're coming from. I believe in all looking out for each other and a fair society and everything. So I believe in all that vibe. I really do. But I'm not going to force my opinions on anyone. And we don't want those conversations on here. Let's stick to the football. If it crosses into politics to do with the Middle East and all that, we address it and we try and have a conversation. But I tell you something now, if I ever see any of you guys in the comments disrespecting someone else, hurling abuse at them because you're passionate about something, or you shouldn't support Liverpool because you're from wherever, or you voted this, or you'll be gone. All right? Because everyone on here can make their own minds up about every topic in the world. And I'm all right, I'm good. There's no problem, there's no drama. I just want to make it very clear about that this is a football channel and that, yes, we do cross over into conversations from time to time, especially on a Saturday night when we had a drink. Fortunately, it was early in the evening. And some people can be prickly and, you know, if you've been the subject of something or caught up in something, then maybe you're very passionate. But that doesn't mean that all the other people out there have to agree with you. That's just life, I'm afraid. So can we stick to football, please? My tea's gone cold. And I look forward to catching up with you guys, hopefully this afternoon at 3 o'clock UK time and every weekday afternoon. I will tell you at 3 o'clock, I will tell you that today at 3 o'clock, I'm going out with the boys today. I haven't seen them for weeks and weeks, maybe 6 weeks. I honestly don't know. So I'll be going out at about 4:45. So the stream will be stopping. It will be an hour long or something like that. So if you are going to join, come early. Did you see me just go like that? I can smell rubber on my fingers. And yesterday daytime, I shit you not, I was sat on my computer, and every time I went like that, I was like, I can smell fucking condoms or something. But there's been none of that around these parts, and there's actually been none of that in my life, to be honest with you. Don't you be saying things like that? It's irresponsible. Shut up, say what I want. And I've worked it out now. It's from doing that, innit? Not doing it. It's from holding that on Saturday night. That explains it. God, you could get into trouble for that, couldn't you? The thing is, when I put this on, which was a big joke at the time, and you're going to have to wait till next Saturday or one Saturday to understand why, don't tell them in the comments, why that made an appearance. I was like, yeah, I'm going to put this on tonight, and I bought that just for a fucking giggle. That's how stupid I am. Can't support Liverpool Football Club if you look like an horse. All right, fair enough, that's fine, right? But when I put that on to do the little joke that it was about, which I knew would come up in the evening, I put it on and then I couldn't see a fucking thing with the mouse. I was like, I can't see it. I can't see how to do it, on the screen and that. So, right then. So every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock this week. Love you to come along. Saturday, we are doing Saturday night streaming, but I'll explain something about that. I'm not sure. I might be doing something next Sunday. Which if I am, I have to be at my best, all right? And so I don't know whether, I wouldn't be having a skinful is what I'm saying, but I don't know if it's this Sunday or the following Sunday, but I'll let you know. Thanks to those of you that did come to the chat Saturday night. It was incredible. There was no drama. It wasn't a drama. I don't define it as a drama. I'm just, I'm upset that someone felt that they had to leave. They didn't say anything, they just disappeared. If you are watching this video, I hope that you realise that I would have your back in any situation, regardless of your beliefs about anything. But nothing wrong with your beliefs, whatever they are. I just don't think that you should imply that people have to be so politically minded in one way or the other. That's all. It's not for me to tell anybody what they should do or you. But you're very welcome around these parts. But I would prefer, as I pleaded multiple times on Saturday evening, to let that conversation lie, because when people discuss these topics, they're never going to agree, because no one's going to change their opinion because of someone on the internet. And what else was I going to say? No, that's it really. Everyone's welcome around here. That's what I was going to say. In the comment section, please don't identify anyone by names. Like I've mentioned certain people to do with Liverpool Football Club. I'd rather you didn't. It's not the end of the world if you do. But when people mention people by names in the comments, you get people nosing and go, "Oh, have you seen what they're saying about you?" And we don't want that around here, all right? So I'd prefer that. I don't think you should say anything about that person individually, but you are more than welcome to say, "Well, I don't think people should." I will vote for who I want, based on where I live in the world, the incidents I'm passionate about, maybe the business I'm involved with. You've got to look, a lot of people might vote a particular way because of Brexit and European trade. If I thought for 1 minute that the UK could come back into the EU and Labour could make that happen, I would vote for Labour tonight, because I know that there's a lot of young people out there that I think would really like to have the ability to live and work freely around Europe. That's all. I'm not going to get into a debate about Brexit. I don't even live in the UK, but it affects me because I'm British living in a European country. And I don't like standing in an airport while all you fuckers coming on holiday are getting your passport stamped, all right? Which you never used to have to do. Do you know what I mean? Now, when I got back from England or somewhere like that, I have to queue with all you lot coming on holiday while they check your passports and stamp them. You never used to have your passport stamped, did you, before? Not in the EU, you know, prior to Brexit. I get to the counter and they don't stamp man, I go straight through because I've got my residency card. But I still have to stand with you lot. It's unacceptable. But you can vote for what the fuck you want. I don't care what your views are on Brexit. Just be nice to each other in the comments is what I'm saying. That's it. I think anybody that really follows me, my content, my streams, whether they are sensible ones, whether we're absolutely smashed with our tits at 3 o'clock in the morning, will know that I stand up for everybody and everyone's right to a view, and I never force my opinions on anyone. Thank you. Have a good day. See you at 3 o'clock. Hooray.